Welcome back, guys. It's me, Double M, on another episode of The Scent Game. Today we are looking at scents that are best worn, in my opinion, during your warmer, more summertime type weather. So for me, these are scents that are, if you live in Nairobi like myself, these are scents that you would typically wear almost every day because as we know, when it gets warm, you want something that's fresh, that's not going to interrupt your natural skin scent, because when it's hot, you tend to sweat a little bit more, you tend to be a little bit more projective. So these are scents that will blend in very nicely with your original body odor, and for me, they do an amazing job at keeping you confident, fresh, sophisticated, and give you that much more pep in your step. Welcome to The Scent Game on this episode of my top 10 lists of those scents that you can wear during your warmer weather. So let's get into it. But as always, like last time, I started with an honorable mention, and today's honorable mention goes to none other than the House of Calvin Klein, and that is CK1. This is the OG, in my opinion. This, together with, of course, the well-known Acqua di Gio by Armani. But for me, CK1, I have a personal relationship with CK1 because I think this was one of the first scents that I ever owned. If you're a 90s baby, if you're someone who grew up in the 90s, I'm an 80s kid, but I grew up in the 90s, and when I was getting into colognes and I was a young man, teenager, trying to do some, getting to understand what this whole fragrance thing is about, this was one of the first ones that I ever owned, and to this day, I mean, it has sentimental qualities, but for me, as far as hot weather is concerned, and for me, someone who's living here in Nairobi in Kenya, and is used to having, it's either it's wet or it's dry, so the weather is quite warm in these parts. It's an equatorial country, and so for me, CK1 is one that absolutely does the job. It's quite citrusy. And you have a lot of your mandarin orange and your pineapple notes right at the top. But as it goes into the mids, you have a bit more floral notes like lily of the valley, jasmine, rose, that sort of thing. And then, because it's a masculine scent, although it's described as being androgynous, it can go either male or female, but because for me as a guy, the base notes is where the masculinity comes in with your woody, your amber, sandalwood type of thing. So for me, honorable mention, not in the top 10, but it could easily be in the top 10 together with a few others, is CK1 from Calvin Klein. All right, so let's get into my top 10 of what I would wear on a hot day, or if I'm at the beach, or if I'm going gymming, or it's just, one of those where I want some projection and I want to feel a little bit confident when I'm out and about. Maybe you're wearing some shorts, maybe you're wearing like an open collar, and you're nice and relaxed and you're keeping it cool. So for me, at my number 10 out of the scents that I own, I would have to go with a bit of a weird one. And most people would think, okay, Mwenesi, why would that be? I mean, you would think that Dolce & Gabbana's light blue is the obvious pick. And yes, it could be the obvious pick, but I've chosen instead to go with Intenso. And the reason why I've chosen Intenso by Dolce & Gabbana is because for me, this scent, it's one of those which is, it's neither here nor there, but then when it has a powdery, versatile feel, which in the warm weather, at least on my skin, it reacts very nicely. Yeah, Dolce & Gabbana have a lot of nice aquatic scents, and Dolce & Gabbana light blue is very, very nice. But for me, this Intenso version is one of those that you can wear on a warm night, on a hot day, but it's not too overpowering and not too it's not very complicated. Yeah, so unlike its light blue cousin, it's not summery. For me, I would describe it as a woody, aromatic type of scent. There's a little bit of tobacco in there as well, but it's not offensive, and it's one of those that has a nice mix of fresh, leaning onto nice masculine notes, and so for me, I would rather have Intenso, and it has more character than your light blue. I would rather have Intenso than one of those other really aquatic scents for my warm weather days. So for me, coming in at my number 10 is Dolce & Gabbana Intenso. Coming in at my number 9, as far as scents that I would wear on a hot day, or not necessarily a hot day, but a warm day is concerned, and things that I want to project and be out and about and not be too offensive, have a nice dry down. For me, at my number 9, again, is a bit of an interesting pick, but it is one of those that I would definitely wear this in an outdoors event like a barbecue or something like that, and that is Wanted by Azaro. First of all, I mean, you look at this packaging, it looks like it's a revolver. It's amazing. It's very nice, very creative packaging, but the scent itself is very pungent and very, some people find it, it's either you love it or you hate it, but for me it's very nice because it has so the opening is very citrusy, lemon, ginger, mint, very lavenderish type of opening, but more and more you start to experience a little bit more of the other notes in here, which include cardamom, there's tonka bean, there's vetiver. Vetiver, like we've said, is a very masculine scent, so this is undeniably masculine, and like CK1, which is, it can go either way, it's male and female, and Intenso, which the masculinity comes out through the tobacco. This has vetiver, which is nice and masculine, and for me, it's one of those that you can easily go out and as you're doing a barbecue or you're doing an event and you want to have a little bit of character, a little bit of projection. So for me, Wanted by Azaro comes in at my number 9. The number 8 scent in my top 10 of what I would wear on a warm day is from the House of Boss, and this is a very popular European scent, and that is Boss Bottled Intense. In fact, if you were to land in one of the Schengen countries, in Germany especially, or one of those like Austria and whatever, for a time around 2015 to 2017, it came out in 2015, when this scent came out, I think this was the only thing that you would smell in most hotel lobbies and airports, because it's very, very distinct and very nice. Such a nice summery scent. It's very nice. It's a bit on the sweet side, but also very, you feel, I don't know, there's a pep in your step when you wear this, and it's, very, the opening is apple and, bergamot, very nice. And then, there are all these other nice aromatic, sandalwood, vanilla. The vanilla is very prominent, but what I get out of this a lot is apple and vanilla. It smells like a very delicious combination of, I don't even know how to describe it. All I know is that for warm weather, I have had a lot of good experiences with this, especially when I'm at the coast, in an area which is quite humid. It's inoffensive. It has some sweetness to it, but not as sweet as the original Boss Bottled. But this intense version has a bit more character, and it also has a touch of vetiver as well, just to round out that masculinity. So for me, coming in at my number 8 is Boss Bottled Intense. Now, my number 7 is a pick which I had as an honorable mention the last time, and it is the OG himself. Jean-Paul Gaultier's La Malle. This could easily be in a top 10 seductive, it could be in a top 10 signature, it could be anywhere. This kind of reminds you of, if you're like me and you grew up in the 90s, early 2000s, I think you would smell this and you immediately know that it's Jean-Paul Gaultier's La Malle. It is such a versatile, beautiful, well-blended scent, and it's no surprise why it's such a bestseller globally. This is one of the originals as far as your nice summer, all season, all pleasing, very, very nice scent. I mean, what comes out very strongly here is the pear note. Pear is very prominent. Yeah, this is one of those timeless classics. It came out in 1995, and it's by the master perfumer Francis Kurkdjian, and he's been responsible for a range of really excellent scents. And the mint, the lavender, the bergamot, it hits you, it's beautiful, and then it goes into this nice cinnamon, wrapped in vanilla at the heart and the base, wrapped in sandalwood, wrapped in cedarwood. Very, very, very nice scent. And anybody who knows 90s and early 2000s, this is a timeless piece. So coming in at my number 6. This is 6, 10, 9, 8, 7. Oh shit. So coming in at my number 7 of scents that you should wear during the warm weather is this minty, beautiful vanilla Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male. Number 6 for me in my top 10 list of scents that are warm weather based, and this is a tricky one because this scent is, I don't even know where to place it, but it is so well done and so unique. It is 212 by Carolina Herrera, 212 for men. And I've had this, I mean, if you look at how long, I've had this scent for a minute, and it's because this is, I think, my second bottle, and every time I spray this on, I feel like I'm transported into, it's like I'm going for an event. I picture myself at an event which is outdoors by the ocean, very nice, a lot of beautiful people dressed very nicely, and you know, there's the cocktail tables everywhere and that sort of thing. This for me is your typical warm event type of scent. The notes are such a nice, interesting blend. You've got grapefruit in there, you've got ginger, you've got bergamot, you've got sage, and then you've got, at the base, you've got this nice mix of, I don't know if it's vetiver, I don't know what's going on in there, but it's such a unique scent. It came out in 1999, but for me, it's one of those timeless pieces. And yeah, like I said, if you're thinking event, nice, warm weather by the beach, something like that, do yourself a favor, grab yourself, and it's not terribly expensive actually. In fact, the good thing about this range of scents today is many of them are on the affordable side. And so for me, coming in at my number 6 is 212 by Carolina Herrera for men. Okay, we're down to the top 5, and coming in at my number 5 is a scent which, as you can see, I've also been really taking good care of it, but this is one of those that could easily be top 1. It's just that behind it or in front of it are scents that I really truly appreciate, have gotten me compliments, and I enjoy wearing in warm weather. And this coming in at my number 5 is Mont Blanc Individuel. Now, the sweetness of this, and it's like, when you smell this, it's almost like it has a mature bubblegum, mature scent characteristic to it, which is very, very satisfying. I mean, this is probably out of all of the ones that we have talked about and I'm talking about today, this is probably my highest compliment getter as far as scents compliments are concerned. But I'm not talking about compliments today. I'm talking about scents that you can wear in a warm weather and it won't go, you know, left field, because unfortunately with your heavier scents, your musky, oody scents, if you wear them in warm weather, it tends to kind of get complicated, especially with your skin, and it goes into a direction which is not particularly appealing. But for me, Mont Blanc's Individual is one of those that has never failed me. I mean, there's so much going on with this scent. It opens with rosemary, and then it goes into like vanilla, and there is sandalwood, and there is patchouli, and there's even a bit of chocolate in here, for God's sake. It's amazing. There's so much going on with this scent. All I know is that it has a sophistication. There's patchouli in there. Oh my goodness, there's so much going on with this scent. But for me, out of all of the ones that have gotten me compliments, both in the opening, in the mid, and even in the dry down, as it dries down, the sillage, it's such an amazing compliment getter. And it's weird that it's coming in at my number 5, but you can see how much I value it. I've been really keeping this going. So for me, coming in at number 5 is Mont Blanc's Individuel. Coming in at my number 4 is one whose bottle has become now a staple in the perfume industry, and it is by the House of Paco Rabanne, and that is Invictus Aqua 2018. Now, this is part of the Invictus range. There's so many flankers. There's Invictus the original. Now I know that there's a new one, Invictus Legend, and there's different ones. There's the original Aqua, and then there's the Aqua 2018, which is such a hard thing to find, and I'm so happy that I found it. This scent is, for me, the original Invictus has been you know, it's one of those which is, it's not an offensive scent and it's easy to wear. Some people even refer to it as a little bit immature, but for me, Invictus is one of those that you can't go wrong with, especially for your summertime, whatever. And this, the Aqua version, the 2018 especially, is very, very satisfying. The notes in here are quite nice and basic. You know, there's some sea notes. I don't know what those sea notes are. It's like minerals of the sea, but definitely one thing that you pick out here is that there's a very oceanic agenda going on in there. Besides the sea notes, you have a bit of, well, quite a bit of violet leaf essence going on in there. You have rosewood. You've got, you know, I would classify this as your aquatic, woody, grown-up version of Invictus. So for me, coming in at my number 4 is a nice, beautiful, inoffensive summertime classic. You can wear this literally all day, every day, and you won't go wrong with this. I like to actually spray this on my clothes, and it gives a nice dry down effect. It has a very inviting, appealing scent. So for me, number 4 is Invictus Aqua 2018. Coming in at my number 3 is the king of all things wood, and that is Bulgari Man Wood Essence. This is a glorious scent. This is fantastic. I smelt this the first time and I was absolutely blown away because I think my nature is just drawn towards woody scents. I love a good woody scent and it does no better than wood essence. This green beauty it came out in 2018. It has a lot of nice resinous, woody, cedar wood. You name the woods, they're all in here, but there's something else that comes in that has, you know, there's a mix of coriander, vanilla stuff that is blended in with the woody notes that is so, so good. I mean, for me, this could easily be a top 1, and what I love about it is it has decent projection, but it's the scent trail that it leaves, which is, oh, it's gorgeous. This is one of those where you walk into a room, you walk out, you will know that you were in the room. It has that presence. It has that just woody, aromatic presence, which, you know, and it's very, 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 the performance on this is fantastic. One caveat, unlike Invictus Aqua 2018, don't spray this on your clothes. It will stain. Yeah, just keep that in mind. If you look at it, this is not the color of the bottle. That's actually the color of the juice. So for me, coming in at my number 3 is one of those that you can wear all year round, but does really well during warm weather, and that is Bulgari Wood Essence by Bulgari Man. All right, we're down to the top 2. And yeah, I mean, you know, these two scents could easily be in the other ones that we've done, the other episodes that we've done. We did a scent on top 10 masculine scents, we've done top 10 seductive, and these two could easily fit into that category. However, I've chosen to have them here because when it comes to the warm weather and performance and the kind of reaction that you're looking for, these have never failed me. Like, you know, again, I could easily have put Bleu de Chanel by Chanel in this category because it's one of those that also performs very well in the warm weather. Sauvage does well in the warm weather. There are a couple, but for me, these two, you could interchange them. It doesn't matter which one is number 1 or number 2, but I have to pick in an order that makes sense. And for me, coming in at my number 2 is this amazing, beautiful concoction by the house of Yves Saint Laurent, YSL's Y. What a fantastic, fantastic, fantastic scent. Oh my goodness. This, yeah, let me just take a moment because and this is the EDT, this is the eau de toilette, and you don't need anything more than that, honestly. I know I hear people coming and in fact, since I dropped these videos on the scent game, people have been telling me, Mwenesi, yeah, but you know which is better, you know, I have a parfum version, and which one should I wear, the eau de parfum, you see, at the end of the day, different scents perform differently on different skins, and you need to spray this on yourself to know what works for you and what level of concentration works for you. For me, this eau de toilette does the job fantastically. This is one of those scents that I would probably have, it's a dumb reach. Like, I know if I know I need to be at an event which is outdoors, if I know I need to be somewhere where it's warm and I know I might have to maybe take off a layer or two, or I know that I need to be confident in an environment that has a lot of sophisticated people, and it might be warm, because what this does very nicely is it masks your odor, not just your odor, but it sort of enhances the good side of whatever is going on your skin. That's the only way that I can describe it. It is such a brilliantly done scent. And I would, if I had 5 cents, because I've seen other reviewers who do, you know, your 5 cents for life or type of thing, why would be part of my forever. Like I would have this in my collection forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. It is fantastic. The notes are such a concoction. You know, you've got white aldehydes, you've got bergamot, you've got cedar, you've got geranium, and you've got this incense at the base, which I think that's what makes it a little bit different. It's a summery, nice aquatic blend, but then that incense and a little bit of musk is what gives it just a little bit more crisp white t-shirt, very clean, all I know is that it's amazing, all right? And so for me, top 2, number 2, YSL's Y. And finally, on my top 10 scents of those that I would wear on a warm day or in a warm environment, and I just want to be a little bit sophisticated and confident, for me, it gets no better, in my opinion, than Dylan Blue by Versace. I mean, this powerhouse scent that came out in 2016, and you know, I have the 50 ml here because the 100 ml, I don't know where I left it. I'm saddened. It's a toss between I either gave it to my cousin or I left it in a hotel room somewhere. So I'm stuck with this 50 ml, but be certain that God willing, I'm gonna get me the full size bottle. But this scent is absolutely phenomenal. This, like I said, with YSL's Y and Versace Dylan Blue, these are scents that could easily be a signature scent. I could have easily put this Dylan Blue in the first video on the top 10 masculine scents, but there were other more grown-up scents, because this is quite a youthful scent. Yeah, it's crisp, it's aromatic, it's actually woody aromatic fougere, because it has a bit of saffron, black pepper, stuff going on. There's fig in here, there's patchouli, there's some mineral musks, there is fig, there's violet leaf, the opening isn't much, but it's when it dries down. When it dries down, this is such a good scent. And if you're a guy and you were to have maybe just one scent, just like that's it, and it serves you springtime, summertime, when it's a little bit cool, when it's a little bit relaxed, this Dylan Blue will do the job. For me, it's an all-season scent. You can wear it when it's hot, when it's cold, when it's whatever, but I think its true character comes out during the warmer weathers, and for me, it has to come in at my number 1 because it's such a well-balanced, compliment-getting. Most people actually compare this with the blue, because there's a little bit of ambroxan as well. There's a little bit of ambroxan like you'd find in Dylan Blue, and I think the patchouli and some of the aquatic aromatic scents also put it in that category of Chanel's Bleu de Chanel. So most people compare those. They compare Sauvage, they compare Bleu de Chanel, and they compare Versace's Dylan Blue. But for me, when it comes to the warm weather, this is hands down my number 1. Coming in at number 1, Versace's Dylan Blue. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you've gotten something out of it. I get some comments and some inboxes from you guys telling me, you know, should I just go for the number 1? No, that's not what we're trying to do here. What I'm just doing is reviewing my personal collection, talking about some of the scents that I have, and then, you know, giving you guys some level of I hope that it's my intention is to give you some level of guidance, especially if you're here in Nairobi, on what works for what occasion. It's not about, you know, it being a particular, like you must get the number 1 or you must get the number 2. No, it's just to my nose what I'm trying to convey in terms of what would my preference be generally, but all of these scents, I have bought them, I have appreciated them for what they are, and I'm hoping that as you start on your scent journey, or if you are already on your scent journey, if you're a collector like myself, that you will be able to know that these scents can be used during this occasion, and you'll be able to mix and match and have a bit more character and success in your scent journey. As always, I love hearing from you guys. Keep sharing, keep watching, keep subscribing. All I want you to do is get yours. Thank you for watching The Scent Game with me, Double N.